Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today we're gonna be messing around with some fiber optic cables because I have been messing around with a lot of fiber optic cables at work lately. So yeah, I've learned a few tricks and had some issues, and I thought that I would share some of them, and we'll do a little experiment as well, see if we can figure out how to improve our cables, and yeah, we'll see what comes out. So, and I'll re-show an old trick that I have come across as well. Let's dive into the table here. Fiber optic cables. The one that we use, that I work with, is these are LC connectors. So these are the latest cables fiber optic wise, and they're called the OM5. That's the standard, the quality of the cables. They are like Cat 6 and Cat 7 and so on. And in fiber optic cables, that's called OM, and this is the OM5. Over here I have some other one. They're color coded. So these pink ones, they are OM4 cables, and I think and I believe that these purple ones might be OM3 cables. So yeah, the higher the OM number, the better the cable. Then I have a meter here that we're gonna test out. So I just recently bought some of these. I already have one. It should be right up here. There we have one of them, and I purchased some more. Came fresh off the boat from China, because that way I can test how good the cables are. And I do that with a laser here, and we send laser through the cable, and and then we can measure the signal on this one, and we can see if it improves or if it worsens. So this is a cheap thing, but it just have to measure how much light comes through the cable, and it will give us a minus dB something that indicates if it's good or if it's bad. So I just took one of the cables out here, and this one has been it's a used cable. We don't reuse the cables at work very often if they have been in use. See, this one has gotten a number. We number them so that you can see one end in one pads rack, and you can go to the other end and you can see, oh, that's the other end of that cable, and that's very handy for doing error correction. And one of the things with these fiber optic cables is that it's impossible to see if they are clean. So to see if they're clean, you need a microscope, and this is a microscope, and it's rather expensive. I think this is about $4,000. So but with the microscope we can see if the end of the fiber optic cable is clean, if I can hit it. And this one is dirty. It's very dirty, and this can actually test it and tell me that it failed. Or we can see the other one. It's only the tiny little hole inside of the dark circle there. That's where the light comes through. This one is not as bad, but it's probably too bad as well. It actually passed. So when we clean these, we have these one-click things. They are rather expensive. Fiber end face cleaning pin. This one is one that I bought on AliExpress very cheaply, but if you want to buy these locally, they can be very expensive, extremely expensive. But let's clean this. I have some cleaning cloth that I got with this fiber optic toolkit that applied to me long ago through a sponsored video. So yeah, we can clean it on this cloth, and then we can test it again. And now I cleaned it a little bit, and there is no reason why it shouldn't be clean, and there is no reason to trust that it is clean, but only the microscope can tell us that. So I cleaned both of them, so they're kind of good. You can kind of see that there is some stuff there still. So at that point we can take the cleaning pin and we can give it a click. You align that there, and you clean each of these. And inside here there is like a little piece of string that goes over the head of the fiber optic cable, and hopefully it has cleaned it further. Not really, it seems just as dirty as before. Might actually seem a little bit more dirty, if you ask me. Just move the dirt around. So I'll try and clean this a little better, and we'll see the result. Okay, so this is not bad. We're gonna just test if it's good. If the device approves it, it should. Yeah, it's green, passed. And we click it and it shows us, and we try the other one. Oh, I touched the metal. That's not always good. So it will be okay. There. So both of them passes now. So when they do that, it's very important to put the caps back on. These small plastic things that comes. And there's a method. You need to not touch the end of it, but get it on there without touching them. So there we are. And then I can clean the other end. Should we just have a look at that? It's probably just as dirty. So come on. It's actually not that bad. It has been seen a lot worse. This, oh, look at that. There's a monster on the screen there, and it's the tiniest little piece of dirt. Remember that piece of dirt is on that thing, and just me moving it around forever a little bit might have moved the dirt. Well, actually not, it's still there. So we're gonna just move it over the cloth here and see if we managed to clean it. That looks pretty good. It's happy about that one. So let's see the other one. And that is also pretty good. Yes. Okay, so I'll put one of these on now that it is clean. But let's put one of these on. I'll just clear that one as well and put that in here. And that enables me to take the laser here and connect it through the laser. This is an old trick that I have showed before. So now I can laser it. The laser is on, and over here it's very visible to see where the laser comes out. This laser is not very expensive. It's like, I think they cost about $20 or something. That's pretty inexpensive. But you can definitely see which one the laser comes out of. If you're trying to find an error in a data center with a lot of fiber optic cables, and using a laser and making sure that when the fiber optic cable goes into the server, put the laser on there, go over into the switch where the laser is supposed to come out, and make sure that it comes out the right place, because sometimes something has been messed up and it does not. So if we remove this, we can pretty much not see the laser, except if we point it at our hand here. But this is an old trick. If this end is dirty, it will light up red because we are throwing a red laser through it. Right now you can barely see it. There is still coming laser through there. But if the end is dirty, the dirt on the end of the fiber optic cable will be reflecting the red light. So if I take my otherwise clean finger here and just, you can see the red light coming out of the end there. But if I dab it, oh, you can see that the end lights up red. That shows me that this is dirty. And if we take the microscope, yeah, we get a lot of light coming through there, so that's not gonna work. I'm gonna turn that off there. And we can see that that's very dirty. It has all kind of stuff on it. So if we clean that again, I have one of these on, so I'm gonna use the end of the table here and do that. I'm using the cleaning cloth because it's way cheaper than using the one-click things. Those one-click things are expensive. So now we should have removed some of it. It looks pretty good already. Yeah, this is not very good. So I have a branded one-click one, so this might be better. A little bit. Oh shoot, I'm out of string on this one. This one is trash. There's a roll of string and that comes out, and when you look here, there is a metal rod there, and that piece of string comes over the top and it cleans the end of the fiber optic cable, and now it's empty. And these can be as much as 50 euros for the branded ones. Why I have this one, because that was like 12 dollars on AliExpress. So just putting my finger on there, see all the trouble I have cleaning that again. It looks pretty good now. Still a lot of crap in the middle of it. And try to clean it with this one again. Yeah, I guess it's as good as it gets. So we'll put this one back. Oh, and now when I turn on the laser, we should see nothing. The laser is on, you see nothing until I use my hand in front of it, and you see that it's shooting the laser out through there. So yeah, that's working again. And if we put the cap on, I need to do that carefully so that we don't put dirt on the end of it. There, and if we take the cap off, we should still see nothing. There. That is by far the best way to protect the ends of the fiber optic cables. Leave the caps on. And if you touch it, you need to clean it and you need to test it. You can use a laser like that and make sure that you can't see the light when you're lasering through it. And if you can't see the light, it should be good enough. So this week I had an issue with a cable. It was actually an IBM system, a Power AIX, and there were some connections and I just couldn't figure it out. I had lasered through it and I could see that from the server into the switch it came out the right place. I had the AIX people check if the network configuration was correct. I had the network department check if the switch configuration was correct. Lastly, I went back and I lasered it. That the cable, and I found out that the cable wasn't sending and transmitting on different. That means that when you put this in an SFP like this one, there are small errors on most of these. That shows that this end of the SFP, that's for the light being sent in, and then it will light out this way. So if we plug the cable in here, it will be transmitting light out on this string and receiving light on this end. just like the errors. Can we see those? Yeah, you can kind of see the errors there. And if they are not mixed correctly, that's going to be an issue. So if we take this and we see, well, on this one the light has to come in from this one. You can see that the error points inwards. So if we connect the laser to that one and turns that on, and then we take our SFP over here and make sure that the laser now comes out where the SFP is supposed to receive it, as it does now, well, that is good to go. That's how it should be. Well, I found that I had a cable or a connection where it was wrong. So of course nothing was able to talk to each other. And many of these connections, you can actually swap them around. And I just wanted to show how to do that. I can do it on this one. Here's another one, and you can take this connection apart and you can swap them around. But on this cable, it's even more simple. See, right now the connection is on the bottom. So if we take this back, there, like that, the front cover goes off. And what we then can do is these can turn around like that, and then this front cover can go to the other side there and go back on. And now the laser light is on the top, which means that now it's wrong with the SFP. You see that? Now it's sending laser light out that way, and the SFP is also gonna be sending out laser light that way. That's not gonna work. How to do this is different from vendor to vendor, but this is how it's done on this one. The one that I was messing with at work had another way of doing it. This one is actually pretty smart because you can't turn it around too much. There is the tiniest little glass wire inside of here, and if you damage that, well, your cable is junk. So let's try this meter here. And now I have this thing that I'm gonna pop in there, and these are also available on AliExpress. Funny enough, that's where this sort of stuff is the cheapest. So now I can take my laser light here and put it into the meter there. We can turn the meter on, and there is different spectra that it can do. I believe this laser, does it say what frequency it is? 650 nanometers. I forget if this can do this. No, it does 850, that's the closest. So here I have the laser sending laser light out into the cable, and I have zeroed this out there. And let's say that I'm searching for a bad connection in my network, and if this connection is not plugged in all the way, look at that, we just lost some of our good connection. And the further we take it out, the worse the connection. So now we have a minus 30 dB bad connection just because the cable isn't plugged in straight. And if you plug it back in, it becomes a lot better. If I press on it, you can see we get 0 dB, so it's all good. So this can be used to seek for errors on the network, to find out if there's a bad connection somewhere, or if a cable has been damaged. We can also see if we take the cable here, I'll just take the laser and put that so that we don't damage that. When I move the cable around, it changes. Let's hold it still. Let's zero it out. There's 0. And if we then bend this, it also goes up. So if there's a kink on the cable, so I've been playing a little bit with this, and I don't know, I might be having issues with too cheaply made equipment here. See if I turn the laser around, the number varies over there. You see now I can get it down to 0 dB, and then I can turn it around again, and now it isn't as bad. I could turn the laser around and I could get from 0 to 1 dB. So for a while I've been wondering how this works. So I wanted to take this one apart. It's empty, so maybe we could get in there and see how it works. Maybe it would even be possible to fix it so that it could do some more. I'm not sure that is possible, but something broke. Okay, here is the mechanism. So the string goes from one spool to the other spool. Take this one out. And that one. Oh, and they have made sure that it can only go one way to make it go back again. Let's see. As the cheap as I am, I'm gonna try and wind this back. It's rather a sophisticated thing. There are some small thingies on the bottom here that needs to be pried up, because they reduce it. These spools can only go one way, but if you pry them up just enough, you can make them go the other way as well, at least for a little bit. So yeah, I'll let you know if this works. It's still not certain that it will work, and it's definitely not a good idea. Okay, it's all wound back. Let's see if this goes back in. There. Does it work? Guess we need to test it, don't we? It might not click as well as it did before, but seems okay. Of course, I've just touched the string in there, so I've made everything kind of not good anymore. So even if this works, it looks terrible. So it might not be any good. It's not good. And it seems that the string in here is getting weirded up. I'll say that that's a no-go. I think it's not pulling right, pushing and pulling right as it did before. Okay, so this ninja hack most definitely did not work out as planned. It would be cool if I could just take those two spools and swap them around. That would have been neat, but apparently that's not possible, so too bad. I think this is where I'm gonna end this video. I was just messing around with fiber optic cables because that's something that I've been doing a lot at work, and I thought that, well, I would have a go at it at home here and try and get a little bit smarter on that as well. See if I could get my testing meter, which is in the case, which I've already cleaned up and put back in the case, to work better, so that I could use it for finding errors on the fiber optic. It's rather difficult to find issues on that, so every little thing would help. And talking about every little thing that will help, I will shamelessly plug my Patreon page, where I every Sunday do a special Patreon video for my patrons. And after that video goes live, I am also usually, kind of always, live on Discord. So if you want to hang out and chat with me, so if you're a patron, you can actually every Sunday hang out with me for an hour or two when I'm done filming and editing and all that stuff. So other than that, thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.